Deputy Niamh Smith, please. Question 22.
Minister, to ask if you have any intentions of expanding the CLAR funding for 2019 by categories, and if you'd make a statement on the matter.
CLAR was originally launched in October 2001 to provide for targeted investment in disadvantaged rural areas. The areas originally selected for inclusion in the programme were those which suffered the greatest population decline from 1926 to 1996. The Cooley Peninsula was also included on the basis of serious difficulty caused in the area by foot and mouth disease. The average population loss in the original CLAR regions over the period 1926 to 1996 was over 50%. In 2006, an analysis of the 2002 census data was carried out by the NIRSA Institute at Maynooth University, and the programme was extended to include areas with an average population loss of 35% between 1926 and 2002. The CLAR programme was closed for new applicants in 2010. However, I relaunched the programme in the second half of 2016 using a baseline the areas identified in the work carried out by the NIRSA. Over 1,200 projects have been approved for funding of 25 million under the CLAR since I relaunched the programme in 2016. I've indicated a review of the CLAR programme which will examine CLAR areas by reference to the 2016 census of population data. The review will also help to inform future CLAR programmes in 2019 and beyond. Decisions regarding specific measures which might be supported under the CLAR programme in 2019 will be made early next year.
Minister, well, I would be the first to say to you that the CLAR funding does make significant differences to communities right across the country and obviously in Cavan Monaghan. In any recategorising you may be doing in terms of population, I would say to you, Minister, there is an opportunity, and again there should be a positive bias almost shown towards the border counties. We do face into Brexit. There's a lot of our towns and villages are really only resurging themselves and reviving themselves from the times of the Troubles, and now we face into another perhaps dark and gloomy time again. And I would ask you, Minister, to show a positive discrimination across those areas. Schools, community groups, this CLAR funding is invaluable to them.
Thank you, Deputy. You're quite correct. The CLAR funding, and it's not always big money that creates the impression. It's often small money that makes a major difference to small communities. As I said in my reply, I am doing a review of the CLAR programme, and I think it's time that we did that, and a proper review. And I'll put that review out now at the end of the year, and I will get some professional people to look at it. And I will talk to communities and groups and everybody involved, because I see it in my own area. There's areas that are not in CLAR. There's areas that are in CLAR, and some of these areas have moved on and the other areas need a lift. So I do need to review it. I will review it. I think it's a good scheme, it's a good programme, and it's one where we can actually target areas. And you're quite correct about the border areas. You have you have problems that other areas don't have. Other areas have problems that the border don't have. But the CLAR programme is working well. I'm doing the review of it, and we will come back and try and get that review done as quickly as possible, because I need to look at other areas of CLAR where I can actually spend money and specify where I want that money to be spent.
Highlight one particular issue, and that's for Killinkere National School. There's an issue there in terms of road safety calming measures that are badly needed for a long number of years. And I do know when you put the CLAR funding out, there's certain things that are qualifying, certain things don't. And I think last time it might be playgrounds or things like that. So I just would ask you to keep an eye out and a mindful ear of schools like Killinkere National School that kind of fall out of the net of a lot of other schemes and funding opportunities. A rural school in a rural population area, but vast numbers of children attending, well over 100 children in attendance, and significant staff there too, but they have a constant worry in terms of traffic calming measures. And I know CLAR funding, there's, as I said, very few opportunities for them to apply for any sort of funding for measures like that, and that's one measure that could be very useful to them, and I'd ask you to be mindful of that.
To conclude, please.
Deputy, I just want to say that with the CLAR programme, one of the better schemes that I did do was the safety schemes outside schools, and it's a very important scheme. And what I've done is we have certainly supported a lot of schools throughout the country. We have made schools safer in relation to signage, access, car parking, and if there's a specific case, if you want to take that up with me. But I'm very happy with the CLAR programme, and what I need now is to look at more areas where I can identify where there's need to bring in a scheme to deal with that need. That's why this year, in relation to cancer services, particularly in rural areas, people have to go long distances to be able to be brought for their cancer services. I helped to support from some transport providers that would make it easier for people, for cancer patients, to be able to get to and from hospitals. And that's why I've identified the school schemes that were there before. One of the better schemes, it works very well. Safety outside schools is very important, and I will do a total review of the CLAR programme. What I would like, more difficult, is to have more money for the CLAR programme, but that's an issue that I have to fight at government level.
Includes questions to the Minister for Rural and Community Development.